Along with picking out the right people to ask questions if you want to find public opinion or group opinion on some particular subject, is getting good at constructing a survey that makes sense to the people you're questioning and that helps you organize the data you need to organize so that you can do something with it when you're done. Getting a bunch of information is great, but if you can't do anything with it when you're done, then that kind of defeats the purpose. So this question here that we're about to sort of tackle really is a good example of how you can take some of that information that you might get from something like a survey and organize it so that it makes sense when you're done and you can really do something with it. The question says that Martha wants to construct a survey that shows which sports students at her school like to play the most. So what we want to do is first take a look at the goal of the survey. What is it that's most important to her? What does she want to know? Well, it sounds like her goal is really to find out what sport everybody really prefers. So we're just going to have to answer the question, what sport do you like to play the most, and ask as many students as possible. So the goal is to find the most popular sport. The most popular sport to play, specifically. Okay, and then next question says, what population sample should she interview? Well, chances are she's going to want to interview a really wide range of students, but in particular, she's probably going to want to interview students who play sports. If she goes and interviews the chess club, or if she goes and interviews the, I don't know, all the students sitting in the library in the afternoon, chances are not good that she's going to get a bunch of responses that make sense to her. If she were to go to a pep rally, or she were to go come in after school on a day when everybody was practicing sports and talk to all the students that were there practicing for the different sports, she'd probably get a better representative. So the population sample should probably either be entirely random, all the students who she runs into in a given day at school, or maybe a random choice of students at a pep rally, for instance, or random at a pep rally. God, that bird out there is driving me nuts. How should she administer the survey? Well, in this case, she really only has one question. What's your favorite sport? Now, if she had 40 or 50 questions to answer, she probably would want to send something home and ask people to answer the questions and then send it back in. But really, with just one question, it's probably something she could administer face-to-face. And ideally, face-to-face is the way to go in many cases, not always. But in many cases, it's the way to go because you're in a better position to actually get responses from people. If you just send home a bunch of response forms, chances are you'll get some back, but it's probably not going to be a real great response unless it's somebody who thinks that they have a particular reason to help you out. If you ask someone face-to-face just what's your favorite sport, chances are they're going to give you an answer and then move on. They're not going to be as likely to just sort of ignore it and not be helpful. And then our last part here, D, says create a data collection sheet that she can use to record her results. Well, again, because we only have one question, the best thing might be to just title the sheet of paper with the question, the most popular sport maybe at the top of the sheet, and then just have a list of sports down the sides. So maybe they have baseball, football, soccer, golf, who knows. A bunch of sports down the side, and then you could just put a little column for the number of people, probably easiest with a tally. Then you could just do a check mark for the number of people that respond saying they like a particular sport. And then it'll be easy to keep track of that and ask very quickly and move on so that you can get a lot of responses and be able to tally a lot of information. So that'd probably be a pretty good way to collect the information.